There is a brewing geopolitical conflict involving the United States you may not know much about, but you need to, because it very well could have a serious effect on the upcoming midterms and the 2024 presidential election. But to get there, I need to go back to October 2nd, 2018. That's when Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi was murdered by Saudi Arabian agents in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey. The CIA and other foreign intelligence agencies concluded that the assassination was ordered by the Saudi Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, MBS for short, though MBS denies any involvement in this. A widespread Saudi cover-up ensued, publicly backed by the former president, Donald Trump. And while there were some slight slap-on-the-wrist repercussions for the kingdom, MBS has never been held to account for this murder. And the overall relationship between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia essentially went on unchanged. But however uber cozy the former administration's relationship with Saudi Arabia was, the relationship didn't start with the Trump administration. For instance, Saudi's war in Yemen, which is a humanitarian catastrophe and has led to the world's current worst famine, began while President Obama was in office and, in fact, received U.S. support during that time. On the campaign trail, Joe Biden said the kingdom must be, quote, made a, quote, pariah. Yet President Biden made one of his first foreign trips to Saudi Arabia, met personally with MBS, and even greeted him with a smiling fist bump, an image that did not go over well around the world. So what is the reason for this crude relationship? Why does the U.S. keep looking the other way from Saudi human rights abuses and its history of other horrendous transgressions? Well, if you got the hint, this crude relationship comes down to oil. The U.S. sort of looks the other way to human rights abuses, and the Saudis sort of assist the U.S. when it comes to oil production and keeping oil prices low. That has continued amidst the global effort to choke off Russia's oil revenue during Russia's brutal and financially costly war in Ukraine, until now. In what serves as essentially a giant middle finger to the United States and Europe, OPEC Plus, at the urging of Saudi Arabia, is instituting a massive cut in oil production, which will artificially increase the price of oil, adding to the pockets of MBS and the kingdom, but also the other OPEC Plus members, which include Vladimir Putin and Russia. This has infuriated the Biden administration, and it's led to a rather public fight between Saudi and America. But there's more to it. Make no mistake, much like Vladimir Putin in the past, MBS has a preference in America's upcoming elections, and that's for whatever helps his buddy Donald Trump ultimately get back into office. And keeping prices at the pumps artificially high strategically helps that goal. Joining me now is the Democratic Representative Tom Malinowski of New Jersey. He's a member of the House Foreign Affairs and Homeland Security Committees. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you for being with us. You are one of a number of members of Congress who are putting forth legislation to say that somehow, in some way, this overly cozy relationship between the United States and Saudi Arabia has to change. Tell me why you think so and what you're doing about it.
Well, thank you, Ali. And by the way, thank you for the segment you just did on Iran. Not to change the subject, but I was very moved by that. You summed up the situation with Saudi Arabia very well. For many years, arguably decades, we traded our values for oil. And now it looks like we're trading our values for no oil. Saudi Arabia is not even doing the one thing that it is supposed to do to protect our interests in the stability of global energy markets. They made a decision that they knew would hurt the United States and our allies and help Vladimir Putin. So what we're trying to do, myself, other members of Congress, is to change the balance, the dynamic in this relationship by putting on the table the thing that we do for Saudi Arabia, which is to protect, to guarantee their security. Without us, they would be essentially defenseless because they're not actually all that good at using all the fancy weapons that we've sold them over the years. They rely on our military presence and security umbrella to protect themselves.
So what prevents this from changing? Because you're right. We've done this for decades. We've had this relationship for decades. But since 2018, and some would say since 9/11, Americans have taken a slightly different view and wonder why we are as cozy with the Saudis and why we provide them with the security guarantees that you just described. What prevents us from redrawing the lines of this relationship? Others have told me they need us more than we need them, ultimately. We don't rely on them for oil the same way we used to.
Well, that's correct. What happens is there's a pattern. The Saudis do something terrible. Take the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. We were upset, but then we have these conversations in Washington, D.C., in which we enumerate the 4 or 5 things, the useful things that Saudis do for us, and we say, well, gosh, we can't jeopardize those things. And meanwhile, the Saudis don't go through a similar exercise. You know, when they decide, okay, we're going to kill a Washington Post journalist, or we're going to cut oil production in a way that hurts the United States of America, they don't enumerate the things that we do for them, because they know that at the end of the day, we follow this pattern of always taking it upon ourselves to save the relationship from the consequences of their misbehavior. If you think about it, that's like the definition of an unhealthy relationship, whether you're talking about countries or 2 people. You know, think of a marriage where one partner does all the abusing and the other partner does all of the work to try to protect the relationship. That's kind of the way things have been between us and Saudi Arabia.
I want to go back to something you started this conversation with, Iran. We've seen protests in Iran before. We saw it in 2009. In fact, there were very large protests in Iran. Do you see anything coming of these protests in Iran? Because they really have become much more than Masa Amini and about headscarves.
It's a national uprising. And as you rightly pointed out, it is now about freedom. It is about the daily repression and indignity that Iranians feel. They want to be normal. They want to be a normal country, part of the world. Among other things, I think they'd much rather have a functioning economy than nuclear weapons. And it does feel different to me. I've learned over many years watching these things not to get my hopes up too much, because totalitarian regimes that are willing to use unlimited violence do tend to hold on in moments like this, and yet sometimes they don't. And more than any other past protest movement in recent Iranian history, this one seems to have staying power and perhaps the ability to achieve serious change.
And of course, I often don't remind my audience, but you were the Assistant Secretary of State for Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor in the Obama administration. So you know a lot about these things. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you for being with us. Democratic Representative Tom Malinowski of New Jersey.